So you're in a big band and things are popping off and you need some help, making your video. So you ask this random guy who you never met before who's gonna do it for free. The only caveat is murder. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? And welcome back to Beyond the Void. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review of a movie called Director's Cut that was in select theaters. Actually, it wasn't even in any of the theaters around me, but I did get a screener copy, and it might be near you. So thank you very much for the screener copy, guys, for letting me check this out early. I was curious to see what this film was all about, and I'm here to report it. Hope you guys had a wonderful Halloween celebration. For me, this isn't a fucking costume, you know what I'm saying? This is the way of life.
You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.
I don't know what it is, but Halloween gets me like wanting to do stuff, but also not wanting to do stuff because I'm overwhelmed with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed Voidtober. I'm gonna try new things throughout the year anyway, but there's always Halloween here if you ever want to come by. What is Director's Cut all about? Well, Director's Cut is about this band that has a pretty interesting name that I can't say on here. It'll probably demonetize the video. They had a really bad year because something very bad happened to one of their friends, and they don't really explain what that is, but they don't have any money. They need to play shows to get money. The leader of the band decides that, hey, maybe we should just make a video for the music that we already have. And they're like, well, yeah, but we need money. And so they asked this guy who hit them up out of the blue, who's apparently an ultra fan of this band, and said he'll do the first one pro bono and they don't have to pay a thing. He just wants it in his portfolio. So it's a dream come true for them. They travel 6 hours out. So basically things go awry and you realize that something is up with this director in this mansion in the middle of nowhere, and everybody starts getting picked off one by one. Now, I typically like these types of films, like this storyline, because I've been in a band and it's relatable in some way. And usually it's some sort of like pray to the devil and you get all this extra stuff. This one's a little bit twistier than that when it comes to like the motive. There's a director, there is no Satan. It's just, band gets into this and things happen. Now, the band in the music is actually pretty decent. It's actually from a real band with the real name, I think, in the movie. I thought the music was pretty good. The acting in it is, these are newer members of the acting. There is some that are not, some that are. I thought they did a fairly decent job. I wasn't too much of a fan of the dialogue in general in this movie. There was some things that happened in the story that were written that, like, while I feel is probably 100% true, it was like, hey, we got this punk band and they're not acting very punk in my mindset, you know what I mean? And like the things that they said and how they did things and like why they did them, it just felt a little hokey at times. There was some other things that are in the movie. They do have some like characters in the film that they try to throw in there to kind of make it interesting. And, that was cool and all, but it just felt like the movie was taking too long to get where it was supposed to go. Like, we all knew where it was headed from the very beginning of the movie. Nothing was a surprise, so it didn't feel like it needed to wait. Like, I felt like the movie should have just kicked off like right away and things would have been good. Now, as far as Louis Lombardi being the villain, it worked and it didn't work. Like, parts of it, I felt like I might be associating with some of his more comedic stuff that he's done in the past. Good guy, bad guy kind of dichotomy that's going on in this film really just didn't work 100% for me. There is another character in the movie that kind of fills in some of the gaps on that, which was a nice touch, but I just didn't think it worked as a whole. There is some gore in the movie. It's not terrible. It's actually pretty decent. I'm trying to be as nice as I possibly can. I have to be honest. It's not that I just hated the movie or anything like that. I was just very underwhelmed. Now, again, I don't think the acting necessarily was too bad, but I wasn't too fond of how it was written, story and dialogue wise. Some of it was fine. Some of it is, your typical tropes that you expect from these types of movies anyway. But this is no Green Room. And it doesn't necessarily need to be either, Like, I don't expect the movie to try to be the Green Room. I just wanted a little bit more from the dialogue and the story to really carry me along. I mean, we're halfway through the movie and there wasn't a lot of things that were really happening to make me that interested or carry me along. Some of the motives, like I said, of the characters really kind of bothered me. It really took me out of the sort of element of what I was watching and kind of made me just not stay locked into a movie that I should have been. There was a lack of tension here that I think could have been. Some of the choices, like I said, that they made took me right out of the movie. And then some of the choices they made kind of brought me back in. But it is an independent movie, so I don't want to be too harsh on it. You know, you're limited on money. This is the first feature film of Don Capria. She's done some short films and stuff, and I have no doubt that everybody who made this put their heart into it. Sometimes it just doesn't work, and for me at least, it didn't work. If you like movies like Peckerhead or Green Room, it's sort of in that vein, and honestly, obviously, this is an overtapped market for this type of movie, so the comparisons are going to happen regardless whether I'm supposed to or not. It's just going to happen because there have been a lot of band movies that have, you know, things have gone awry. I'm trying to give you my best opinion of what I think, and it doesn't mean that it's 100% right. It just means that's how I feel about it. I wanted to like this movie, and I wanted to like it all the way up to the third chapter or the third act, and that's when it starts to pick up a little bit, and it got better. But I will say that it didn't end as well as I wanted it to, and I was expecting something kind of like a way bigger surprise. So it felt like it had been retread as a movie idea, even though it was kind of doing some unique things with this being a director and some of the characters they added in this, which I thought was cool. It just didn't really go there for me, and I guess I was just expecting more than I should have, and maybe my expectations were too high. Now, while this movie may not have been my personal cup of tea, I would definitely like to see what he could do in the future. There are things in this movie that I did like. I can see some promise here, and I would like to see more movies from the future. Maybe this just wasn't the one, you know? A future movie might be the one that pops off really well. So I just didn't find this one in particular to be the one for me. But maybe it'll be for you. I'm probably at about a 4 out of 10. And, you know, maybe that'll be higher for some of you guys. I don't know. That's just how I feel about this movie. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could say more about this, but hopefully you guys see it and you find something more about it than I did. I would love to hear what you think. Do you like these kind of style concepts? I like this kind of thing. Like, I like going in and following a band and all the troubles that they go through, because it's just like such a like open territory for like fuck ups. Like, as a band, I've been in a band, and when you go on tour, it's like you have to solve problems like right away, and like you have no time to fuck around. But yeah, I would love to hear what you think about this movie in the comment section down below. Now, the movie should be playing in select theaters still right now, but it may be very select, so check your listings. It probably will come to streaming or VOD very soon, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. If I hear anything, I'll let you know on the socials. But thanks for coming by, and as always, long live the void.